If you have any question related to the assignment or related to previous sessions, you can ask that now. After that, we are going to start with the session. Okay, so the metric threads will be covered today. I think the whole wizard is not covered in the previous session, so going to cover that also. Simulation is not the part of this training. Please ask your doubts, which questions you have the doubt. Specify the question in which you have the doubt in the previous assignment. That's the standard. M6 into 1 is the metric 6 one pitch. The set type 6H is the tolerance. Uh, I'm audible to everyone or some people are getting this? Hello? Is it breaking for everyone? Okay. Please specify the question you want to know in the last assignment. We have the assignment here. Please specify the question which you want to solve, which you want to know. So, assignment number 5th and the part 4. Okay. So in this assignment, I think it should be specified that here you have to just assume this 36 value. The whole is 36. This is the tolerance. You don't have to apply the tolerance in the designing. The tolerance is for the manufacturing part only.
What is that, sir? Minus 0.03 plus 0.03.
It is the tolerance. In the manufacturing, we always have some tolerance because sometimes the machine or the tool, sometimes the tool is wear out, so there will be some errors. So the tolerance specified here is tolerance. The tolerance determines whether the maximum limit and the minimum limit should be in this limit. Okay. In mechanical industry, the tolerance we cover is digits we use is up to 4 precision. Like we have 36, so we use around 36.0000 up to 4 decimal places we take the precision. So here we have given the tolerance that it should not increase from 36.03 and the minimum dia should be 36. There is no tolerance. Here you can see it is 28.
Okay,
It should
okay.
not increase
In left side, M6
28.0.
into 1 bar 6H. What is that?
It is again the tolerance. Okay, M6, it is a standard threaded hole. Okay, the tapping is used here. M6 is the standard one in the pitch. You have to choose that from the standard hole wizard. So in SolidWorks, we are going to cover the hole wizards, the reference and the curves today. In hole wizard, I will explain how you can specify the pitch and the dia, and the metric thread, how can you use that. Okay, V bottom will also be covered. So tolerance again. Okay, I will cover in the last session when we will be covering the drafting about some tolerance criteria, how you define the tolerance, how you can define tolerance. Okay, we have some tolerances options in the drafting, so there I will explain to you. Okay, so right now we are going to start with the hole wizard, how you can specify the hole. So first I'm going to use a sample product, like going to use a rectangular shape with some dimensions around 100 by 200, like that. Mix it out and define some height. Okay. So you can now see that when this instant 3D is enabled, you can change the size from here also. So now we are going to specify how we can create the hole. So the simple method was you can use the extrude cut, but now we have the option hole wizard from where you can specify. There are two things in this. First is the type. There you will specify the uh, type, which type of hole we require, what is the size, what are the parameters, and after there is the position where you want to position that hole, the center location and the profile. So first we have to specify the type. So we have some standard types. There is the circular hole. The last one is the slot type hole. Okay, these are the slots. These are the holes. These are threaded holes. These two. Here is the straight tab. Here is the taper tab. And now this is the legacy from where you can define the type of some value from looking at the shape like that. Okay. So first we are going to use the simple hole. What is the simple hole? Select the hole type. Now there are some standards. What type of standard you need? This is the NC metric. We have the NC inch also, AS, PSI. All the standards are available. Most of the cases we use the NC or the ISO. In Indian standards, mostly the ISO will be used. After that, we have some types here for the hole. 12 hole, drill size, 2 clearance, tap drill. We have many types. First, we are going to use the simple drill type hole, how the drill type hole can be made. So select the drill size. Okay, select the standard. There is the drill size. So in the drill size, there will be the size of the drill that will be up to 25.5 from 0.15 to 25.5. If you want to select the diameter from in here, you can select the dia. Suppose I want a 10 dia hole, to go to the 10, select the size from here. If you have size more than 25 or different from the size that is not available here, so go to the show custom sizing. You can specify 10.1, like I can specify 30, like that. So the hole can be changed, the size can be changed from here also. After that, we have some option that is the end condition. How much depth you need for the hole. You can make it through all, you can make it with some values, or you can use the other option that we have already learned how to use that in the extrude or revolve option. Okay, up to next, up to vertex, surface, offset, anything you want. So going with the blind right now. So while specifying the blind, you have to specify the value. While specifying through all, there will be no value. Okay. So we are going to cover the options a few minutes later. So specify the type. I'm going to use the simple hole. Specify the standard. There is the type, that is drill size I'm taking, and size is 10 selected, but the custom sizing is defined here, so 10 will not take place. It will be of 30. Okay, if you leave that, the 10 size would be created here. So if you use the 30, then condition is true, also hole will be true. You go to the position. Now you have to select the face where you want to create the hole. I want to create the hole on this face. Now you can see the hole will be created on this. So specify the location where you want to create. So click on that. If you want to specify the dimension, you can go to here, find the dimension from the edge or from the point, whichever you need. I want to create it on 100, and the second distance will be from this point, and it will be 50. Okay, at exactly on the center. You can see this is the hole. Just click OK and click OK, and the hole will be created like this. Okay, so here you can see this is the whole option here. Whole feature is applied. You can see this is the 10 dia, but we have used some other option. So if you want to check, you can go to that, or you can rename it. So right now, if you want to check inside what inside of the feature, so there are two sketches. First one is the position. You can manipulate the position later also. From here you can just change that value and update it from the rebuild control B, or from here we have option here that is rebuild, and the second sketch will show you the shape of the hole. Okay, you can check this size 30. You can also change the size from here also. So this is the simple hole. If we go to the edit, now we have some options down here, that is near side countersink and the far side countersink. Someone asked the question how to create a V bottom hole. So create a V bottom. The V bottom means that is countersink. We have two options. First is the counter bore. This one is the counter bore. The second is countersink. That's the chamfered option. To create the countersink on top or bottom, we have two options. Near side means the upper side. You click here, the dimension will be specified. I want this to be 35. Now, if we go here, select this one, you can see that this shape is defined 35. In the bottom, you can see this is straight till now. If we specify this value far side and specify the value, I want to specify it around 40, you can see this has some value. Okay, click OK, and the circle hole will be created like that. If you want to see the section, just click here, section view, and you can specify it like that. Click OK, or you can specify the value to minus 50 like that. Okay, this is the section view of the wall. Okay. Any question till now? If you want to ask anything, you can ask now. If you have any questions. Okay, go to the edit, then manipulate. You can see the location, the size, everything is here. If you want to change the angle or the size, it can be changed. At 35, you can see the change. Okay, this is the true all option. If you apply the blind option, the end condition will be not available. Find the depth. I want it to be 50. Now you can see there is a tip also. Okay, this tip has a standard value of 118 degree. That's the standard. If you want to change, you cannot change it from here. You can see this is a blind option, and here you have only this. If we go to the okay, you can see here is another angle. That angle is for this one, this counter thing. This angle from here to here. This will be 90 degrees like that. Okay, if you have any question in the standard hole or the simple hole, you can ask. After that, I'm going to move to the next slide. Okay, so you can also create these type of holes with the help of counter sink from here. You can just click here, There will be the countersink. You have to select the standard. Now we have some types here. These types will be specified in your drawings that you have to use these specific holes. I will show you a drawing on how can you use it from here. So here we have some drawings. Wait for a second. Okay. Like here you can see there is a specification that you need a size of pen cross head AN of 8 quantities. Okay, like this everything will be given to you and you have to just choose them from the library, or you have to create the whole for them from directly from whole user. So from here, let's go to the type you need. There are some options here: hexagon socket, CPS array. Okay, countersink. These are the countersinks. You have to do the standard according to your need. Now we have the size here. The size is in metric size, 10, 3, and 4, whichever you need. You can just choose it from here. Now there is the fitting option. We know that in this hole there will be a bolt inserted or a screw inserted from the library directly. So to create the fitting, to use the fitting, we have some options, some close. You can see we have some effect here. So close fitting, nominal fitting, and loose fitting, some size will be added. So these are some standard. You don't have to choose any value format. You can see here. So custom sizing, there are some values. The first value is the hole size, this standard hole size, this one. After that we have the countersink size, this one from this point to this point. After that we have the angle of the countersink. After that you can see there is the angle of the tip from here. You can change it from here now. Okay, the standard tip angle is 118 degrees. So next again we have the end condition. Then we have, if we have the blind option or true all option, we will have a far side function also. We have the size here, so check it is 1020, so it should be around 25. So at least see the change here. Okay, so right now there is another option, that is head clearance. So head clearance means if you want to create this from an offset distance from here, so there will be the head clearance. In that you have to select two options. There is the edit counter board. You can see if we add some value, I want it to be from a distance that is defined. You can see there will be a counter board added of the distance 5. If you want to increase the angle, you can just go here and increase the angle like that, and it will be added like that. Okay, so this is the head clearance. Your board will be added some at some distance from this space. So just apply your commands accordingly, according to the need, and click OK. Check the result. So this will be the counter sync size. Is it clear to everyone? Change the diameter of the hole. In countersink there is no option. There is an option, but it's in the size of like metric type. Okay, if you want to change a simple hole, you have some diameters from here like that. Okay, but in countersink you will have to specify this size, or you can go to the custom sizing. You can change the diameter from here. This is the diameter of this hole. I want it to be 20, and this is the countersink. I want the countersink to be at 30. So like that you can change the size. Okay, but according to the standard, you only have to specify these values from here. Okay, again, this is the diameter, M10 is the diameter unless the pitch is specified. Okay, this is the metric type, diameter is not specified here. Okay, so the next option we have to use is counter bore, how to create the counter bore type. So there is the counter bore, select the counter bore, now you have this shape here. Okay, again there is the standard and there are some options in the standard, there are subtypes. You have to choose according to the required. Okay, most of the cases hexagon socket head or pan head cross. You can see I have shown you in the drawing that like you can see it from here, there is the pan cross head. So for that shape we have some counter bores also. Choose from there pan cross and head cross. Okay, then there is the diameter. You have to choose the from the standard. If you want to again choose the customer setting, you have to specify the dia here, the counter bore dia. This one is the first one, so it's 20, and the counter bore we need is 30. Okay, so now we have this depth option. We need the depth to be around 10. You can see this is the depth. Okay, so this will be the simple counter bore. You can specify from the custom size or specify from there. After that, we have end condition again. Blind will have some tip and two all will be like this. Now, first option is head clearance. So head clearance means you can move it further down, like 5 mm. So 5 mm will be added to there. Now after that we have countersinks. Okay, we have now three countersinks. First is near side. So near side will be applied here. Just type in the diameter. Now I have to type in the diameter. I want that to be 35. Okay, now you can see the 35 diameter is added here. There is the angle. For the underhead means you can add a countersink right here somewhere. So underhead and define the diameter. I want that to be around 30. Okay. First we have to know the size of this one. We're going to use the custom. The size of this one is 20. So I'm going to use the second option around 25. Okay, so now you can see there is the counter bore added in the neck. Okay, so after that, the last option is for far side. It means there will be a counter sink down here. The size should be greater than this diameter. So we know the diameter is 20, so it should be around 22, 25, something like that. 22 like that. That will be added there. Click OK, and you have the shape here. Okay, you can see this was the counter bore type. Okay, we have added a counter bore at the top, at the neck, and at the far side. This is the far side, this is the near side, and this is the under side. We have three options in the counter bore to add the counter symbol. Okay, is it clear?
Yes, sir.
Uh, so the next type we have is this one, that is the legacy hole. From here you can specify the type. Okay, you can use the simple hole. The shape will be defined here. You can choose the value from here. Okay, right now you can see I can change the value from the diameter to around 30, but I cannot change the depth because the depth is derived from the end condition. You can see the end condition is true or. If you change the blind option, change it to the blind option, now you can change the depth to any value. Okay, if you don't need a tip here, use the legacy and use the simple hole form. Okay, now we have a taper type. There is the major diameter. Okay, minor dia, this is the major. Minor will be here, major will be here. The depth is defined here. You can change the depth again to just double click here and depth can be tried from. Okay. So again we have the taper, the simple drill, the counter bore drill, countersink. We have multiple options. Just choose the value from here. You can see this 82-degree angle is this one countersink angle. You want to change it to 90, you can. After that we have the countersink diameter, the upper one which is 40. I want that to be around 50. And we have the depth 100. I want that depth to be around 80. And we have the diameter here. I want that diameter to be around 30. Okay, so these are the options. Click OK and your hole will be created. You see there is no tip at the bottom because this is simple hole. Okay, if you choose from here that it should be drilled, okay, so we have to select the countersink drill. Till right now this is the countersink type. You choose the counter drill, you will have a tip also from at the depth. Okay, okay, like that you have to click there, you have to click here, like that. Okay, so it should be drilled to get the tip. If you don't select the drill, it will be flat on the bottom. Okay, choose it from here. You can create easily. So next option we have are till now we have covered the circular holes. If you want to create some slot type holes, you can create them from here. First is a simple slot. Okay, and now we have to select the size. I'm going to use the ISO one. Okay, again we have some size. Select the drill size. I want that to be around 25. Okay, and we have some options here that slot length is 508. So slot length should be around 50. Okay, so it's like that you are creating a slot and applying the option extrude cut to the slot. Okay. So select the type, tender, and the hole specification. Okay, so this size will be the circular size and this length will be the slot length. Okay, this circle's diameter is the this size, drill size, and we have the slot type that is from this center to this center, specify the value according to that. So next, you can also go to the show custom sizing and use the values from there also. And again, we have the countersink option, the depth option. I want it to be around 50. You can see there is a 50, but there is a tip also. You can also go to the through all, and that will be created like. Click OK, and this will be a slot type code. You can see the radius. Okay, compute sizing will be there. The 50 size from this point to this point. Okay, so now the next option, if you want to create a counter bore or countersink slot type, you have those option also. You just have to choose the size. Okay, I'm going to use the M10. So there is the countersink type. You can choose the custom sizing again and click OK. There is the option add clearance and far side countersink. You can add them, you can skip them. There will be the countersink and go to the edit, go to the counter board. Now there will be the counter board, click OK, and now you have to use them. Click OK, there will be the counter board. Here, how to create the hole in the slot. Okay, so yes, you want to ask anything? Okay. So now how to create the threaded holes or the how to use the tap drill. Okay. So I think you know that how the thread holes are created, how the threads are created. We have the tool that is called tap tool, okay, or the tapping tool. To create the inside holes, we use the tapping. To create the outside hole, we use To create the inside threads, we use the tapping, the tap tool. Or to create the outside threads, like on the bolt, we use the die. Okay, so die for tap. To create the inside, we use the tap. To create the outside on the bolt, we use the drill. Okay, so I'm going to show you how to create the threaded holes right now. So go to the hole wizard. Now we have these two options here. The first option is straight tap. This means the hole will be created and the threads will be applied on that hole. So select the standard you need. I'm going to use right now NC metric. Select the type. I'm going to use the tapped hole. Select the size. Now you can see we have some value along with the metric value. So the first value is the diameter. I'm going to use the diameter of 24, and there are two values with the 24, that is 2 and 3. So this value is the pitch value of for the thread. Okay, so I'm going to use M24 into 2 pitch. So select that. Now select the end condition. Now we have three options. How do we want to represent the thread? The first option is you just want to create the tap drill size. You don't want to show or you don't want to represent the thread. Second option is the cosmetic thread. There will be an image added to the surface. And third one is the material will be removed according to the thread size. So first option will be used right now. Go to the position, select the face and select the surface you want to create it. Okay, I want to specify a value from here to here. The value should be 50 so that you can see it in the section. So click OK from here and there will be the hole. Okay, it is a tapered hole. With tap, this hole is a threaded hole, but you don't see anything here because this has a simple representation. To add the representation of the threads, you can go to the edit and we have the option, second option, that is the cosmetic thread. If you click on that, click OK, you will get a circular option here, the dotted circle or the hidden line circle here. And if you want to see, you have to go to the option from here, go to the document properties. Now we have the option that is detailing, and from here we can use the shaded cosmetic thread option. Okay, this should be enabled to see the cosmetic thread. Click OK. Now you will see there will be an image or a cosmetic added to the surface that will represent that this surface has the threads on it. Okay, although this circle will also represent that there are the threads. You can see uh, in your assignment we have provided you a drawing. We have given you the drawing where the two circles were present in that you want to see. Okay, in this drawing you can see, if you zoom in here, you see there are some circles with two circles. There are two circles. The second circle is broken. So this means this circle has the threads. This one also has the threads. This one also has the threads. So the size of the hole is described by M8. This means this is a metric thread with 8 dia and the depth of the hole is 10. Okay. So in this way you have to create. So these are the types. The third type is you can represent the thread with this size. Now to see the difference you have to apply the end condition. So I'm not going to use the end condition to all to the thread. You can specify both thread and the hole different values. To apply the thread, I'm going to use blind option. Okay, so I have applied a depth of the hole that is 58 and the thread will be applied up to 48. We can see the size difference. So the size is created, the shape is created with the help of this one. If you apply this one, there will be simple hole with some cosmetic. And in this one, there will be simple hole without cosmetic, with cosmetic and with added feature. Click OK. This will be the feature created. Okay. Up to this surface, we have the thread. Up to here, we have the hole. So in most of the cases, we use only the option of cosmetic threads like that and show the cosmetic thread and you can see threads are up to this point. Okay, in the drafting, we just have to select one option and the representation will be there for like there will be this representation there. Okay. So this one was the tapered hole, straight tap. Now if you want to create a angular or tapered tap, you want to create some thread or at an angle, you just have to select the hole wizard and there is the option tapered tap. Click on that. Okay, first we have to get out from there. So if you click here, you can see there is no metric size. If we have the only NC size that will be 4 inches. You can go to the ISO for customize setting. Use the will type from here. Use the size. The size will be described now in the section like that. So I want the size one. You can choose to show the custom sizing also. This will represent the angle. This will represent the diameter and there will be the angle on the tip. When condition is too blind right now, so I'm just going to specify the location. I want it to be at distance of 50 from there. So okay, okay, and this will be our hole. So the representation should be okay. We can see that this has the representation. This has the threads at an angle. Okay, so I think that 6 size will be increased like that. Then that one the size will be like that. Okay. So the blind condition we have the size here. We want the thread up to the point. We can just add that value to there, or you can just go to the to all in both the options. Okay, in thread the value is this one to all. In that you can also specify the value like that or like that. Click OK. There will be some threads added. We have some error in that, so we have to change the value. Click OK. And this is the representation of the tapered hole. In tapered hole, we only have the representation set with the extruded cut feature. So for the tapered hole, use this one representation. Okay. Or either you can create the visible threads also from here. In the hole wizard, we have the thread option. I have also inserted this option here by just searching it from here. You can search any command like I want to add thread again. You can just drag and drop here or you can just add the cosmetic also. So select the cosmetic and you can see there will be the cosmetic type. Now if I have a standard hole from here, simple hole ISO well size or drill size, I have to specify the size. I want to specify that to be 25. It should be through all. I don't want a countersink. Go to the position and specify the size there. This is the hole. Now I want to specify some cosmetic thread on it. So just go to the cosmetic, use the thread setting, use the edge for that. Okay, start from the face. I want to start them from here. Now select the type. Okay, I want straight. Select the size from here. If you go to the machine thread, there will be the metric size here. Okay, so select the type you want, M2702. Go to the option up to where you want to create the thread, and the depth for the thread will be defined from here. So I want the depth to be 2. Okay, click OK, and the thread will be added to that circle. Okay, so right now you can see we have this option. We have applied a hole here. Okay, we have applied a hole here with 25 dia, and the cosmetic thread was applied with the dia of 27. So there was no minimum diameter for the cosmetic. Like if we go here and select the simple hole of dia around 20, positioning at this location, we go. Now remember we have the dia at 20. To go to the cosmetic, select the edge, select the faces where you want to create. This should be machine thread, and now you can see the diameter is from 22. So why it is happening? Because if we create the thread, they will be created at an distance, at an offset value for the pitch. Okay, so it will be selected M22, not M20. Okay, so again to OK, and here we will have the cosmetic thread. Thread and cosmetic thread have the representation difference. You can see it is just a representation. An image or a material will be applied to the face, but if you create some thread from here, they will be created like actual material will be removed from there. So for that, I'm going to use, like you can see there. So I'm going to use the hole, a simple hole from here, and define the position from there here. Okay, you know the value is 20 dia. Now if we go to the thread, again we have specified the location. So location will be specified with the help of edge. Now from where you want to start, it will be started from the top. If you want to start it from some offset value, here we have the offset value. How much offset you need? I want to uh, start it from the other side, and I want that offset to be at 2. Okay, so option is selected. The end condition, I want it to around 50 value. That will be added up to 50 depth, like that. And now if you want to maintain, you can maintain it from here. Okay. Next option is the main option, that is the specification. So there will be option you want to add the threads or you want to cut the thread. Okay, I have already told you in the holes use tab. So if you go to the type, there will be an option. There is the die and tab. So there are two different units. First is inch, second is metric. We are using metric. So for inside threads, to cut the thread, you use the tab. You will see the representation goes to opposite side and threads will be inverted. Okay, you can see the threads are going to be inside the material, and that material will be removed now. If we go to the tab, the material will be added. Sorry, in the die, the material will be added. So in holes, we only use the tab option. The size you will see here is 22.15, specified automatically according to the selection of your edge. Okay, according to the size of your edge, the size will be specified automatically. You can change the pitch for 1.5 or 2. You can do that from here. Next option is either you want to add the thread or cut the thread. In most of the cases, the thread will be cut thread, okay, not extrude thread. And after that, we have some option that is thread option, that thread will be right-handed or left-handed. You can create them from here, and there will be the preview. So preview, shaded preview will be the most heavy preview here. It will slow down your PC. So if you slow down your PC, just go to the partial preview. It will be very fast. It will just show the helix here. Okay. And we have the wireframe also. It will be also the fast. So if you go to the shaded, it will slow down your PC a little bit. So just click OK, and you will see the representation here. The thread will be like removed, material will be removed from the thread like that. Okay, so now we have the cosmetic thread here. You can see there is no material removed, and the thread there will be some material removed from here. Okay, got it? What is the difference?
Yes, sir.
So we have three options here in the thread option. First one is the remove material, okay, the tab option. The second one will be the dye option. It will be applied on the cylindrical faces in the bolt. Okay, in case of bolt, you have to apply the dye option. So I'm going to create a bolt of the 30, click OK, and create an extrude of height around 100. So now we have option again the thread, specify the edge. Okay, now you can see threads are being added. Okay, they will be extruded. Why the direction is in this way? Because we have used the tab here. So we need to use the dye option. Okay, I have told you in case of the bolt you have to use the dye option, and the size or the shape will be inverted. So again we have the size here N22. So we have the dia 30. So we're going to use around 33 for that. Okay. So next option is we want to cut again. Yes, we want to cut. We cannot weld the thread on a surface. We have to cut the material to create some thread. So again we have the thread option right left, and click OK. Depth can be specified with the help of some value. So there will be some thread. Now you can see we have some issue here. There will be no material removed there. Why this problem appears? Because I have not specified the offset value. The edge was selected from where I want to create the threads, and from that point the threads are being created. So we need to add an offset in case to cut the material properly. So in this way you have to just define some value, some offset from here, and click OK, and your thread will be created properly from the start point. Okay, like that you can create your code. Before that, we also use a chamfer to create a better edge. So how to add a chamfer after you created the thread? There is an option, rollback feature, just click it, drag it upside. This means the thread is suppressed, the thread is not created right now. If you create anything, that will be added before the thread. So I'm going to add a chamfer here on the edge like that. I want the size to be around 2. Okay, and click OK. So this is the chamfer. Now if I drag back, you get an error. Okay, there will be an error because for to define the thread I have used the edge from up there. So if we go to the option, go to the properties, you will see there will be no edge. So you can add the new edge from here right now and add some offset from here. I need that offset to be increased around 5. Click OK, and you will see the thread like that. This will be the actual shape that is created Okay, we have the threads here. The depth option can be derived from the depth option here. So that is here, that is blind up to 50. You can specify the value according to your need. Like that. It's okay, and the threads will be created like that. Yes. So the third option we have is, you have seen the threads on the bottles. So on the bottleneck, we have some thread of different kinds. We don't have these type of threads on the bottles or in the plastic. So to create those type of threads, we just have to go to the threads. We have the third type. In the metric die, we have the third option, that is SP4X, that is bottle option. Go to this and it will create the bottle option for the bottle type thread. Select the edge where you want to create, and now you will see the profile will be generated there. These are the types for the bottle thread. Specify the depth. I want the depth to be around 25 or 15. I know the pitch. Okay. So there is the size. You can vary the size, vary the shape according to your needs. We have some different options. You can check all the options from there, and you can specify the number of items also. Okay, I want to specify the revolution. I want two revolutions only. You can specify that one. Okay. If you want to specify any offset distance, create offset. I have applied 5 offset like that. Okay. Okay. Right now you can see there is the red option, and this option is selected to the cut thread. If we just go with it, there will be an error. It says unable to cut thread on cylindrical surface. Use extrude thread instead. Okay, it will give you a hint that you have to add the material here, and you will see when you add the material, this will be of green color. When you click OK, you will be able to create some threads like this one. So these are the bottle thread options. You can create those also from here. Okay, any question till now in the threads? If you want to ask any question.
Sir, can you explain this extrude thread once again?
So you can see that we have this material here. If you see any bottle, the bottle has some threads and they are extruded outside, not inside. They are not cut from the bottle. You see, if you have any bottle right now, you can see the bottle will have the threads extruded to the outside. Okay, they are not removed. The material is not removed. They are added. So how can you add some material in threads? So there are two options, that is extrude and cut. Okay, if you go to the cut, you will see that the shape is outside, not inside. If you go to cut, there is no material and nothing will be removed here. Okay, if you click OK, it will also hit an error because we don't have any material from which to cut some material or remove some material. So here we need to use the extrude thread. Material will be added here. Okay, if you know the manufacturing of bottles, how the bottles are made, you will see that they will be created with the help of some blow molding, or some hot air is blown in the tube and they will acquire the shape of the bottle. Okay. So in plastic we can add the material because we just have to blow some air and that will take the shape. But in metal you have to cut the material. You cannot weld the material. Okay. So in this we use the extrude option. We cannot remove anything because the shape is outside. There is no option for the tap, like we have some option here, tap and die, but in bottle we have only one option, and for that we only have to use the extrude thread. Here. So these are the threads option, the whole wizard options. After that we are left with the reference geometry and the curves. So I think you all know how plane works. If you want to create some object, at some offset or at some different location, we have to use the plane. And to create some plane, we have option here, reference geometry. First, we can also create some plane by just selecting I want a plane offset from this plane and in this direction. I can just press the control button and go to this. We have some option here. You can just drag it out and there will be a new plane. Okay, like that. Okay, so again, select the plane and press the control button, select the plane, drag it out, and we will have a plane outside. You can specify the value from here, how much offset you need. I want it to be at 80 distance, so the plane will be created at an offset of 80 distance, like that. If you want to add some number of items to the plane, you can add that. All the planes will be added at a distance specified from here. Okay, if you want to flip the offset, you can flip that and the direction of the planes will be changed. Here, this is how you can create the plane from a from a specified plane that we have created earlier or that we have default. So how to work with the plane? If you don't see any planes or if you want to take an offset of this surface, you can go to the reference, go to the plane. Now, in planes, we have to specify minimum of one reference or maximum we can specify three references. So if you want to have a offset plane, just specify the surface or a plane from here. You can just specify the plane from here also. After that, you can see it will directly go to the offset distance. You can specify the value from here, or you can just click here and specify this one, and you can again specify the value from here. Okay, this flip will change the direction. This will add the number of items. Here, so this is the offset option. If you want a coincident, the plane will be created on that surface. The surface should be flat. Okay, the surface should be flat. It should not be curved. It should be flat only. You cannot select this one. This will provide some error. Okay, if you select this surface, you will have a tangent option, but you will not have the desired output. Okay, if you want to have at this side, it will not have the desired output. If you select any other reference, then it can work according to that. Okay, so how these references work? Now, if you select any surface or any point or any edge, you will have some option here. Now I have selected a surface. I can create a coincident on this surface. I can create an offset from this surface. I can create a parallel. I can create a perpendicular also. Okay, but to create the perpendicular, you can see it needs another reference. So we have to specify another edge or face like that. Okay, if I select this surface, it will give an error. If I select this surface, it will again give an error. If I select this edge, it will be created and it will show fully defined. Okay, so we can apply multiple references for a plane. The first option, we know how to create an offset. Now we can also create with the help of two edges like this one and this one. If we select two edges, the two references will be defined and the plane will be fully defined like that. Okay, plane can be created with the reference of two edges. If we select point like this one, okay, it needs another point like this one, it needs another point, specify this one, so the plane will be created in this direction. If I select the third point at this location, you can see the plane will be on this axis. Okay, it will be tilted with the references. So in this way you can create multiple, you can assign multiple reference. So the main thing is we have to use the offset or we have to use the angular plane. How to create a plane that is an angle? So select a face, select an axis, and you can specify the angle from here, and you can specify the value from here. Like I want a value of 45 degrees, the plane will be at an angle of 45. You can also specify 135, but this will change the direction only. Okay, the angle will be changed. You can just click OK, and the plane will be created like that. You can change the angle anytime. Just clicking here, I want that to be 225. Just update by pressing Ctrl B or go to the rebuild option up here, and the plane can be created like that. Okay, so if you want a plane that will rotate around this axis, so go to the plane. I'm going to just edit. So I'm going to select this. I'm going to change this edge and select this one. So the plane will be at an angle from this, and this will be the second rotation. You can now change the angle from here also. Okay, you can select any corner, and you just have to know from where you want to create the plane. Okay, so these are the options in the plane. You can create a plane at an angle. You can create a plane at an offset value. If you want to create a plane at the mid of two faces or two planes, you can create that also. Suppose right now I have a plane here, I have a plane here, and I have a plane here also. I want to create a plane that is at the mid of this face and this face. You can create that. Go to the plane, select first face, select second face, and you will see it will be created in the middle part like that. Okay, so these are the options in the plane. We have covered the middle, we have created the offset, we have created the angular, we have created the coincident. We want to create the perpendicular. Just select a face and you can select the perpendicular from here. For perpendicular you have to just select an edge, and the plane will be created perpendicular to that face. Okay, we have used the parallel also. To create the parallel, you just have to select a plane, and you have to select the second reference. Like I want to create up to this point or this point, the plane will be parallel to the first face and will be at this point. For that I'm going to use a sketch. Like I have a sketch here. Like that I have a sketch here. Okay, I want to have a plane that is parallel to this one and at the location of this one. So go to the plane, select the face and select the point, and you will see that the plane is parallel to this face and it is constant to this point. Click OK. We have this option. This way you can create the plane. Any questions? Okay. So the next option we have is axis. How you can create the axis. Go to the axis. Now you can see we have multiple options here. First one is you can choose a previous edge. You can choose a line like that. The first option is line, edge or axis. You can choose anyone. You can create the axis from here. The second option is select two planes or two edges or two faces. Okay. If we select two faces, their intersection point will be converted in the axis. Okay, and if you select two planes like this one and this one, their intersection will be the axis. There will be an axis generated like that at the intersection of both the planes. Okay. And the next option we have is 2 points. We can specify 2 points like this one and this one. The axis will be generated from the 2 points like that, or like this one and this one, an axis will be generated like that. Click OK, and there is the axis. So after that, we have another option that is cylindrical. In that, you have to just select a cylindrical surface like that, or like that, or like that. So the axis will be created at the center of that cylindrical surface. Just click OK, and it will be there. Okay. So these are the types. So if you want to create a plane that is at an angle of this axis, so go to the plane, select this axis, select a plane, and define the angle from here. Find the angle you need, and it will be created according to that. Okay. The last option in here is the point and the face. So in that you have to choose a point and the face. The face I'm going to choose this one, and point I'm going to choose this one. So there will be an axis perpendicular to that face and coincident to that point. You can choose the point like this one also. Axis will be created on that point. You can choose the point this one also. So the plane will be for the reference that according to the plane the axis will be perpendicular, and at the location of that point will be created. Click OK, there will be the axis like that. Okay, you can move the axis at any location also, and you can change the size of the axis from these points like that. If you have any question in the axis or the plane, you can ask. Okay. So after that, we have some points, how to create some points for the reference purpose. To go to the reference, we have the point here. Again, we have some option. We can create a point at the center of some circular body, or some circular entity like that. Okay, this is the center of an arc or circle. If we select the center of face, we can select that, and point will be created at the center of that face. So the center on the face can be circular or flat. The point will be always created at the center. Okay. After that, we have the intersection. We can create an intersection like this. Okay. You can create at the intersection of this one and this one. The point will be created on that. After that, we have the projection. For that, we have to specify a plane and an edge, sorry, and a point like that. Okay, this will be the projection, and we have on point, sorry. So for that, you can see at this point or this point, we can select. So this option will work on a sketch point. You have to create a sketch for that. Okay, you can not just select this point. You have to just create select from there. And the last option is for the number of points you want to create. First option is distance. So select an edge. You can specify the number of items from here, and the distance will be specified from here. Okay, I want them to be at 12, so distance can be specified. If you want to add with the help of some percentage, okay, I want 3 circles at a percentage of 33, so they will be added like this one, or at a percentage of 20. So after the 20% they will be added. This will be 20%, 20%, and 20% of this whole length. If you want to evenly distribute them, you can see they are at an evenly distributed basis. You can add the number of items, they will be evenly distributed. Okay, so this is the simple type of point. You can use the point for the reference. If you click OK, the points will be added like that. I'm just going to delete the points right now, and going to use the point on this one. Will be around 4 points. Okay. So you can see now if you want to create a plane at a point, so select the face, select the point. So it will be created with the reference of that. If you want to create an axis, go to the axis and select the point, select the face. I want to create it like that. This is the reference. Okay. So these are the options in the points. After that, we have another option, that is coordinate system. Coordinate system is used, I think we have covered this one. In the table driven pattern, we need to have a coordinate system, and for that we have to create a coordinate system from there. Okay. So to create a coordinate system, just click here. You have to select the center point or the origin. I want to make this point as the origin. I want to specify this as the x direction, this as the y direction, and this as the v direction, and specify the like that. I want to specify these directions. So there are the select directions, and there you can select the axis and click OK, and there will be your coordinates. Okay. Any question in coordinate system? Just go to the reference, go to the coordinate system, select the origin where you want to create, select the x-axis, okay, select the y-axis, select the z-axis, and you can just click that. Okay, I need the y-axis up in this direction. You can just click here. You don't have to specify all the three axes. It will specify that automatically. You have to specify only two values. Like that, the coordinate system will be created. Clear? Any questions? So next we have the option. Okay. So next, if you want to check the center of mass, where is the center of mass of this body, you can just go here and click on the center of mass. There will be no other option. You can see there is the center of mass. Click here. You will see the center of mass is right here. If you add something or remove something, the center of mass will vary according to that. Check the center of mass. It is in here at this center and at this center here. If I create something on this face, like if I extrude it, okay, if I add something here, that it's straight, like this is so now check the center of mass. It will be shifted a little bit according to the properties of material and mass of the body. Okay, so the center of mass can be specified from here. It will be used to check, and it will be used in the simulation, not here. Just to check where it is, you can just click here and check the center of mass. If it is applied, you will not see it here. If it's late, you will see it again in here. So click here, the center of mass will be applied. Okay. So after that, there is one other option, that is mate reference. This option we will cover in the assembly. Mate reference is basically you can assign some mates or some relation from the part for the assembly components. Okay, if you have any component that is going to be assembled, you can specify its mate or its relation in here, so that if you go to directly in the assembly, that part will be joined to the specific location. So we will cover this option in the next question, where we will cover the assembly and its basic stage. Okay. So till now, if you have any question in the reference geometry, you can ask. Okay. So after this, we have some options for the curves. I think you have covered the helix and the spiral. Have you covered the helix and the spiral?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So I'm going to show you how you can create a split. I think you have covered the split also if you have covered the draft command.
In a draft, sir.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
So basically the split is required to create a surface, like I will open a part. Wait for a few seconds, I will open a part for that. So right now you can see this is a feature. There are some fillets applied, but there are a lot of work done here. So if you see, if you apply a fillet on these edges, you can go here and apply a fillet. You cannot apply a fillet on these two edges in one step. You have to just apply them step by step. You going to apply this one only. After that, you can apply a fillet here. Okay, and now you can apply a fillet on this edge and on this edge. Okay, you only have to select one edge again like that, and you can select the fillet right here like that. Okay, so you can see we have some an odd shape here, and if you have seen the previous shape, that was very clear. So you can see that this is the different surface. We have some different surfaces, and now you can see there is some odd shape here. I want to create some shape that is similar to this one, the straight shape. So how to create those shapes? You can just create something in on the top of that and create a split surface. I'm going to create a line from here to here. Okay, exit out, and I'm going to use the split surface. From curves, go to the split. I want to split this surface with this curve, so going to select this curve here and this surface here and click OK. You will see the surface is created and it is split out like that, and we have everything else properly. You can see there is some other column here, so to create that also you could have created this one and select, create a line. Okay, so we have to create a line from here to here. There is some difference, so with that, exit out, go to the feature and go to the split line. I want to split this surface. Click OK. You will see this is the surface that we have created now. Okay. So now to create a smooth surface, we have to go to the surface command. In surface, we have some options from where we can create a smooth surface. So in this training, we are not going to cover the surface, but I will just show you. There is an option delete surface or delete face. You can just select all the faces from here. My system is very slow right now. I have some problem. Okay. So I have selected all the surfaces like that. And from here also. And now I can just delete and patch the surface and click OK. If it gets some problem, go to the deleted fill option, click OK, and here you have some shape like that. Okay, to create these type of entities, to use it, we use the split option to create these type of shape. Okay. And if I give you another example, I'm going to close this one. And this one also. Okay. So I'm going to open another file. Like you can see, we have another file. We have some indent here. So if I roll back up here, you can see this was a flat surface. After that, I have created a surface and split that from here. So to do that, I have just created a plane outside here and created the shape, this one. And after that, I have applied the split surface from here, and this surface was split out from the body. Okay. So this is the split option. In this way you can split your object. Now the next option is project curve. It is similar to the split line, but in this the surface will not be split out. The curve will be projected to the surface. Like if I create anything on this with the shape, I'm going to use the rectangular shape right now, or this one. Okay. So I need this shape on the surface. So there are two options. If you want to split the surface, you can go to the split surface, split line. If you just want the curve, go to the split curve. Now select the surface, click OK, and you will have. Okay, I think I have not selected the sketch. Okay. So the problem is that the plane is uh, intersecting on that object, so that's why it is having a problem. So I'm going to move the plane a little bit outside, should be around 40. Update that. Continue. So I'm going to have some errors here because I have used many things. So go to the curve and edit the sketch. We'll have this here. And delete the curve first. Go to the strict curve. Select the curve. So we are facing some issues. Okay. Select the sketch here. Select the face here. The direction is to the outside. The split here. The direction to the inside. And you can see that the curve is projected on that surface. The difference between the split and the project is that now you know this is the split option. So this surface is different, this surface is different, but this is the project option. You click inside, all the surface will be selected. So this line is just a projection. It is marked there, but surface is not separated. So where to use this split? this vector curve. In case you want to create a sweep, go to the sweep and you can create a circular profile like that. You can select this and click OK, and you can create some shapes like that. Okay, so this is the project curve, and we have also covered the split line. So the next option is the composite curve. So basically the composite curve is used to join multiple edges, multiple curves. So for that, I'm going to show you some options here. I have created many options here. Okay, so down here somewhere I have used some composite curve. So what is the main reason of composite curve? So if I show you before composite curve, I have to join this surface to this surface, and for that I have to select the edges. If I select the edge, it will select it for some segments, not the complete edge. Okay, if I go to the boundary command here, if I select this one, this edge, if I try to select this edge, it will select the portion. It will not select the complete edge. So to join this, we have an option that is called composite curve. To go to the curve, there is a composite. We can just select these multiple edges and convert them into a single edge. Just if you want to ask anything, you can. So like this way, I can select all the parts, click OK, and we have a curve that is composite. We can create another curve from these. Like that. It's okay. Now we have the two curves, this one and this one. Now you can just easily select the composite curve directly from here. You don't have to select all the faces, and in this way we can join the two surfaces, and we can create a third surface from here, that is this one. The blue color surface can be created like that. So the composite curve is basically used to join multiple edges or multiple curves to create a new part to create. To find a new example, we are just going to create a new file. So here I'm going to use a rectangular shape. This one, I'm going to flex it to apply some height. Okay, I'm going to use a line split like that. Here, going to use a split line. I want to split this surface and this surface. We can select multiple surface. It's okay, and here we have some split here. So I'm going to use the composite curve. I'm going to use to select these ones like that. Okay, I want to join these. It's okay. Now I want to remove some material with the help of this curve. I'm going to use the swept cut, and I'm going to use the circular profile and select the composite curve as the path. So you can see you can use this curve like that. You can add the material or remove the material according to your need. So this is the composite curve. You can add multiple edges. You can convert them into one entity. Okay. Do you have any questions? You want to ask something? You can. Kevin, you want to ask something? Okay. Then turn off your mic. So after that we have another curve, that is curve to point XYZ point. It means we have to create a coordinate system. For that we have to define some coordinates. Okay, to create a curve from xyz point you have to specify the location. So for that we have to specify the coordinates. Suppose I want to create a curve with the help of these. Okay, and after that I want to create like this one. After that I want to create like this one, and after that I can do minus 50 and 30. So like that you can create a curve in a direction or in a helical way. If I keep doing that, I'm going to use again the 50, the 0, the 40, and 0, 50, and 50. You can see a curve is being created, a helical curve. Minus 50, 0, and 60, and 0, minus 50, and 20, and 50, 0, 80. So like in this way you can create a curve, okay, with the help of some reference points or with the help of some coordinate based points. Okay, I have created a circular helix and we have used some points, xyz points. Okay, any question in this one? Many people does not understand in first time. So if you have any question related to the curve to xyz points, you can ask. Okay. So after that we have the last option, that is curve through reference point. You can create some reference points with the help of point command, or you can select the edges also. So suppose I'm going to use curve to reference point. I want to use this point. After that I want to create this one, go to there and go to there, and after that this. So in this way you can specify the reference points like that. And, okay, so create a curve with the help of some references, and again you can use that curve to create some sweep or extrude, whichever you need. Sorry, in the sweep only you can use it, or in the surface options you can use this curve. Okay, so this is the curve that you can create with the reference point. Clear? Any questions? Okay, so these were the tools for the day. I think every tool is covered in this training from the teachers. If you have any questions related to the tool, if you want to know anything, you can ask. And we are going to complete this training here. Right now, I will show you the assignment for this session. That is session 6. So in this, we have these points. We have to create these ones. Uh, these are very easy. There is the whole option you have to create with the help of whole. And there is this one and this one. Okay, we have to create these files, these points, and submit before tomorrow midnight. If you have any question after this session, you can ask in the group. Okay, and the answer will be given to you. Okay, so wait for a few seconds. I have to take the email. I think everyone know that the people who attend this training will get the certificate. Okay. So that was it. So Monday daily classes. Yes, the class will be on regular basis from Monday. You will get the notification in your group. If you have any question related to that, you can ask in the group. First, wait for the notification for the classes on the regular basis. Okay, after that, ask the question. If you have any question related to the session, related to the syllabus, you can ask that in the group. I will answer that. Composite curve is the curve in which you can join multiple curves, multiple edges in a single curve. Like I want to join, right now you can see if I select this one, this is a single curve. If I create a sweep and select the path, so this edge will be selected separately. If I want to join, if you want to take or if you want to select multiple curves at a time, you have to go to the composite curve. You have to select the curves you want to join, like that. Okay, like that. I want to join all these curves. Click OK. Now you can use that curve to create something. So I'm going to use this curve and define the diameter here, and the command will be created. So it will take some time because my system is very slow right now, and maybe you will get some error because we have a curve, very sharp edge at this point. So it can fail right now. Okay, so it got stuck. Now we have to wait. So the main purpose of the composite curve is to join multiple edges or multiple curves. So you can just click on all the edges. So the edges should be in the continuity, and you can join that. So that's the main answer. Helix and spiral. Okay, wait for a few seconds. After it will get back, I will show you. Helix and spiral is used like if you want to create a helical structure like spring, or you can create also the thread from the helix. You can use the helix command. For the spiral structure, you can use the spiral. Both have some similar options. Okay, so going to start the software in the process setting. Okay, so here we have the option helix and spiral, and you have to select the plane where you want to create. So helix and spiral will require a reference, and the reference should be a circular entity. So create a circle or create a circular edge. You can define the value that like 50, and after that you can see there is a spiral structure like that. It's the helical structure. You have multiple options. You can specify with the help of pitch and revolution. In this, you have to specify the number of turns. From here, I want 3 turns, and the between gap is called the pitch. So pitch will be defined from here. Okay. You can specify the height and revolution, so you have to specify the maximum height. I want maximum height to be 50 and the number of turns should be 5. So it will calculate the pitch from there. Here is the height and pitch. You have to specify the height and maximum value that will be calculated, and we have the spiral. In the spiral option, we have the pitch, the between gap, and we have the number of turns. So according to that, you can specify. You can specify the values from there also. These are call collects. Okay, these are called collects. Sorry, call out. From here you can see the gray value cannot be specified, but the white value can be specified. You can just click here, or you can just change it from here. Okay, so I'm going to use height and pitch now. So here is the option. You have to specify a constant pitch or a variable pitch. You can specify both things. First, the constant pitch, I want the height to be at 100 and the pitch should be 20. If you change the pitch, the number of turns will be increased. The option reverse direction, it can go downwards or upwards. After that, we have the start angle. So the start angle will define the starting point of the helix. Right now, this is at 225. If I select the 0, if you know the coordinate system, we have 4 quadrants. If you see, this is the origin, this is the x point, the 0 point. We have the 90 point here, we have the 180 here, we have the 270 here. If I specify some value like 45, it is starting from here. Okay, if I specify the 90, it will start from up here. So these are the starting angles. These angles are very helpful because we have some planes and those planes are at quadrants only. We have the planes at a cross section of 0 and 180 and we have them at 90 and 270. We don't have the plane at an angle between 0 and 90. So you cannot create any object. If I select 45-degree angle from here, now I will face some problem create a shape so that I can create a sweep. Okay, we have some option here, counterclockwise. If you want to create some taper helix, you can add some angle from here like that. Okay, so right now I have selected this 45-degree start angle. If I click OK, and if I have to create some shape for the sweep, I cannot create it because I have no plane on that start point. Okay, one plane will intersect here, one plane will intersect here, so the start point is at an angle. So to eliminate that problem, we always select the start angle at 0, 90, 180, 270, something like that. So define the 0. Now we have the plane that is intersecting at the 0. So go to the sketch and you will see we have this point here. Now we can create any shape. Suppose I want to create a rectangular shape like that and I want to make it constant. Okay. So make it constant like that and make this horizontal to this point and we have a rectangular shape. If you want to fully define this, define the length and width, exit out, go to the sweep along this one and this will be the helical. Clear? Any question in the helix? Okay. Now after that you can see we have the helix here. Go to the edit. If you want to create some variable pitch, you can create some variable pitch from here. You can see from 0 we have the pitch of 15 and at 100 we have the pitch of 15 knots. If you want to add some pitch, I want to define the pitch at the height of 20, that my pitch should be at starting I want my pitch to be at 5 and at 20 the pitch should be at 5 and from there I want from 25 height I want my pitch to be start up to 15, okay, and up to 75, I want my pitch to be 15. And after that, up to 80, I want my pitch to be turned back to 5. And up to 100, I want my pitch to be 5. So you can see we have some variable pitches here. From here to here, we have the 5 pitch. From here to here, it increased from 5 to 15. From here, it will decrease from 15 to 5, and from here to here, it is constant. So these are the variable pitch options. It's okay to confirm, and your string or spiral structure will be created like this. You have seen this spiral structure in your ends. There is a string that is of variable pitch. Okay. So if you have any question, you can ask. Any question? After that, I'm going to close the session. Okay. So that was it for the day. Thank you.